Ciao, bellissimi here from Mike's Organic Cafe. I made the classic cannoli using healthy organic ingredients, but I thought of a better, quicker way that in my opinion looks and tastes way better. This time round we're going to be using spare puff pastry, and I found these ice cream cone shaped cannoli molds, and instead of frying we're going to bake them in the oven. Gather these ingredients. For the shells, puff pastry sheets. If you don't have any spares, see my other video, it's easy to make, a large batch with a few ingredients. 1 egg whisk. For the egg wash, optional if you like the colour effect of the pastry, although you won't really see it once the sweetened icing gets sprinkled on. For the filling, 1 or 2 tubs of ricotta cheese, draining in a sifter bowl over another bowl, depending on how many you want to make. This time I'll make 10 cannolis. 3/4 of a cup monk fruit icing sugar substitute, 2 tablespoons cacao powder or 2 tablespoons ground espresso coffee depending on how much you like the coffee flavour, 2 tablespoons ground cinnamon, optional, it's to counter the sugar. I have these stainless steel tubes and these ice cream shaped tubes to wrap the cannolis. For the garnish, almond bits or pistachio pieces or any other nut you like, or chopped baking bits. They're made from cacao and added monk fruit sweetener, and a sifter container with monk fruit sweetener for the end. How to make the shells. Step 1. Turn on the oven to 350 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. While the pastry thaws, it shouldn't take long. Grab your baking tray with parchment paper and set aside a cooling rack for later. Step 2. Once the pastry thaws, cut it down the center. Then about 2 to 3 centimeter long strips. Then wrap a strip around the cannoli mold, overlapping it so there's no holes or lines when baking. Here's the first one I done as a practice test. Just make sure you're wrapping the cannoli mold the right way up. I got confused at first, then thought, duh, it has to go the other way, dipshit. Continue to fit all your cannoli molds or your baking tray. Side note, if you have pastry leftovers cut like this, put cheese on one or combine cheeses or even brie cheese, place a second one on top, then twist them together, then bake in the oven for 20 minutes. And you have delicious cheese pastry twists. Or grab freezer bags, place one pastry on it to fit, then fold the bag over, covering the pastry, then place another pastry and so on. It's so they don't stick together when freezing. Trust me, it's a nightmare trying to divide them, because when they thaw, it'll be one fat piece stuck together. Step 3. When they're ready, grab the egg wash and brush the tops of the cannolis. Go back and forth because the grooves will make you miss some of the pastry. We want an even coat. Step 4. Now bake in the oven for 20 minutes. Here they are, fresh out of the oven. They smell heavenly. Set aside to cool a bit before transferring them to the cooling rack so we don't burn our hands. Step 5. The ricotta should be separated from the liquid now and dried up a bit, so empty the water from the bowl into the sink, then give it a clean with a paper towel. Then place the dried ricotta into it, then add the sweetener, coffee or cacao or both for a mocha taste, and cinnamon. Mash it together with a metal spatula with holes until it forms a thick, creamy-like texture. Don't overwork the ricotta filling. You want to be able to pipe it into the cannoli holes easily, not have it drip out because the filling's too wet. Place filling in a piping bag with a medium-sized nozzle and set aside. Side note, if you're doing it by yourself, fold the top of the piping bag down a bit to make the hole bigger. Then fill the spatula with the ricotta filling, then hold it open with one hand and use the other to fill. It sounds easier to say it than do it, but if your filling is too creamy, it'll be extra difficult. Hopefully you have someone like my trusted cameraman that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing when it comes to cooking. He just likes to share his wisdom about every topic. The ego on this one, eh? Step 6. When the cannolis are cool enough to handle, remove the molds. They should slide out with ease. So remove all the molds and you're left with ice cream cone shaped delicious pastry. Grab the piping bag and squirt to fill the cannolis. The ice cream cone shapes are pretty easy to fill because you won't over squirt out the other side. But for the other shapes, fill halfway, then turn over and do the other half. Step 7. They turned out the complete opposite to the other cannolis. The other ones were brown outside, white inside, but there's a light outside and dark inside. Add the garnish. Make sure to squirt a bit extra so the ends of the cannolis have ricotta to catch the almond and baking chalk bits. Then dust the top with monk fruit sweetener and enjoy. If there's some left over, which I doubt, but if you made a lot, put them in the fridge. They'll taste even better with the morning cafe. Gorgeous Italian cannolis made using delicious organic puff pastry. Which do you prefer, this one or the other recipe? Be seeing you. Ciao for now.